Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to say, Kal Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Kakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Kal Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us this truth. Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect, the 144,000 men pushing this truth and diligence, sincerity across the four winds of this earth. Shalom to the Inni Akwathium out there listening and learning. It's the Aki Akwat with another lesson. And let's just get into it. You know, this lesson is for, I guess this lesson is just for anybody who is just coming into the truth, you know, because we've been meeting a lot of Jake out here in Germany. Okay? And one of the things you gotta understand when you come into this truth, when you come into your heritages again, is that you gotta be as a baby. Okay, you gotta go back to the basics, so to speak, and you gotta forget everything that Esau has taught you, and you gotta be renewed in the spirit, renewed in your mind, renewed in your body, you know, your physical body, your spiritual body, and your mind, and you have to be renewed through this word. Okay, so let's get right into it. This is John chapter 3 verse 1. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Yahushua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from the Most High, for no man can do these miracles that thou doest or doest, except the Most High be with him. Verse 3, and Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom. Okay? So when you come into this truth, you have to be born again. You have to be born again. You have to forget the philosophies, the doctrine, and all of the bull crap that Esau has shoved down your throat growing up in this kingdom. And Nicodemus said unto him, verse 4, Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born again when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? And Yahushua answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom. Okay? And the water is this word. Okay? And when you be born again with this word, it washes your spirit. It removes the impurities from your spirit. Okay, and Yahushua, in verse 6, that which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the spirit is spirit. So everything that is born of the flesh is fleshly, you know, and that is all these things that Esau has taught us. All these carnal thoughts and carnal ways that Esau has taught us to live by are fleshly things. Where the scriptures teach you how to be spiritual. The scriptures show you how to have faith. The scriptures show you how to call on the name of the Lord and have faith in it in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So you must be born again in with this word, and that the word, that water will wash you. You know, it wash away all of these unclean acts, all of these unclean things that your spirit has been doing all these years. You know, let's get Matthew chapter 18. Verse 3. And said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So also, then again, you got to come as a little child. And does a child know anything? Does a child that is just born into this world as it grow up, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, does it know how to conduct himself? No, it's taught by his parents, by his papa and his mother. Okay? And your mother is wisdom, and your papa is the Lord. You know, and the Lord has set up men to continue his word throughout this kingdom, throughout this captivity that we're in. He set up righteous men to continue to push this word. You know, so You have to forget everything that you learned as a child and become a child again, mentally, even in your adult years. You know, that's what the Lord is saying. Let's read it one more time. Salakia. And said, verily, and so let's start at verse 2. Matthew chapter 18, verse 2. And Yahushua called a child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, verse 3, and said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of the Most High, the kingdom of heaven. Okay? So that just shows you, you got to forget all of these philosophies and these doctrines and all of these pagan ways that Esau has taught us, and we must become as little children, knowing nothing, and hearken unto this word, and study to show thyself approved. Okay? Let's go to Job chapter 33. Job chapter 33 and 22. It's the book of Job chapter 33 verse 22. Yea, his soul draweth near unto the grave, and his life unto the destroyers. Hold on, I might have picked the wrong one. If there be a messenger with him, and an interpreter, one among 1,000, to show unto man his uprightness. Okay, so like I was saying, anyways, this is another precept for another lesson, Salakia. But it says, if there be a messenger with him, an interpreter, one among 1,000, to show unto man his uprightness, then he is gracious unto him, and deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. His flesh shall be fresher than a child's. He shall return to the days of his youth. You see? So this is also furthering, learning the truth will renew you. Men go down the wrong paths, but Yahweh gave us men to teach us and to bring us into salvation. You know, this wasn't that precept, Yahweh Ratazah. I'll get the right one. You know, but that's what I was trying to prove, that the Lord, He set up men to continue to push His word in these last days, and He always set up prophets, you know, to bring out His word when destruction was about to come on the earth. You know, let's get 1 Peter. Get 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. So when you put aside malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, you become to gain more milk. You gain more milk in these scriptures. You know, you gotta rid yourself of these things. You see, and this is what I mean when you end these scriptures, you start to get the understanding of the commandments and how to live your life. You become a new man. You become a renewed man. You know, and you start to see just how wicked Esau truly is, and how the Lord set up the Edomites and these heathen nations to be against everything that He's taught in our heritage and in our scriptures, in our holy Bible. You see, and you know, then you begin to see how you're supposed to live. You know, you begin to see that this world is turned upside down. That the way that we're living is not how Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai wanted us to live on this earth. Okay, the whole earth mourneth when the wicked are in rule. You know. Let me see. Let's get Isaiah. (28 and 7). Okay. But they also have erred through wine. What is wine? Other doctrines. And through strong drink are out of the way, The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. These are other philosophies and other doctrines. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. For all the tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. Verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. You see? So when you study these precepts and you gain understanding of the milk is essential to a baby. You know, you can't feed a baby steak. You can't feed a baby a cheeseburger. You know, you can't feed a baby flesh, meat. You have to feed it gradually and let it grow until its system can handle all of these things, all of this other food. The same as with the scriptures. The basic understanding of who you are, our heritage, the customs, the basic customs. You know, Leviticus, the dietary laws, the grooming laws, the matrimonial laws, and sacrificial laws. All of those things were the milk, or the foundation of our heritage. You know, and those, by gaining understanding of those, you get more understanding in these scriptures. That's who's going to get understanding, because when you read the Holy Bible, you see that it's written in a certain way. You know, that they talked in a certain way back then, and to understand the way that they talked, you have to read and understand the slangs, so to speak, for lack of a better term, the terminology, and when they say the arrows, what do they mean? Are they meaning arrows like of a bow, or are they meaning an arrow as a missile? You know, because they use terminology then to talk about prophecies that would happen in our time. You see? So you can only understand those things by understanding the basics, the milk of the scriptures. Okay? Okay? Let's keep going. Verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue, he will speak to this people. Verse 12. To whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest. And this is the refreshing that they would not hear. You see? So there are a lot that won't hear these words. There are a lot that don't want to take this truth, you know? But what I'm trying to bring out is, how do you gain understanding? How do you get stronger in this truth? How do you get stronger in these in this Bible, in the Lashon Kodash? I mean Ruach Kodash. You have to study, and you use precept upon precept, line upon line. Through thy precepts I gain understanding. You understand? So when you are in these scriptures and you get the basic understanding of who King David was, King Solomon was, and what they did on the earth, and how they lived, then you'll be able to understand other scriptures. But also you must pray and fast and ask for understanding, and believe that he's going to give you the understanding. And he may not give it to you right away. He's going to give it to you in a different way. You know, that's how the Lord works. He gives everything that is needed without you even asking. You know, he knows all things, man. He knows all things. Let's get Hebrews chapter 5. Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 12. For the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk and not strong drink. So, let's read it one more time. For the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God. This is the milk. This is the milk. And are become as such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. So to get you need to get the understandings of the basic understanding of the oracles of the Most High, and then you will get strong milk. Then you will get better understanding. Okay? Then you will get understanding. And if you think you're a teacher, make sure you know the basics of the Most High, the basics of our heritage, the basic milk scriptures before you advance on to meat scriptures, you know, because you can't just jump into eating meat. It ain't gonna work like that, you know. And before I close this out, let's get Songs of Solomon. Song of Solomon, chapter 3, and chapter 3 and 4. Songs of Solomon, chapter 3 and 4. This is Song of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 4. It was but a little that I passed from them, but I found him whom my soul loveth, and I held him, and will let him go until I had brought him into my mother's house, and into the chamber of her that conceived me. Okay, see, and that him is wisdom. That him is wisdom. Okay, but let's read it one more time. But it was a little that I passed from them, but I found wisdom, whom my soul loveth, and I held wisdom, and I would not let wisdom go until I had brought wisdom into my mother's house and into the chamber of her that conceived me. Hey, that's straight up and down, you see? So if you want wisdom, you got to study the scriptures. You got to study the basics, you know? And Yahweh Ratazah, I'll do a lesson on straight up milk scriptures, you know, to help edify the incoming body of Yasharallah, to help edify and help them understand who they are and how to live and walk righteously after Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, because that's what this is. This is a race to the end. Everybody's running that race. All these Israelites are running the race to get that seat on those chariots. All right? So we want to be diligent in sincerity, and sincere in doing this work for the Lord. Okay? So again, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and blessing to the hopefully elect, the 144,000 elect men. Shalom to any Akwath out there listening and learning. And again, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Until next time, Shalom.